Every time you feel that fear rising inside you, that tightness in your chest, that voice in your head saying, "What if I fail?" That's not a sign to stop. That's your signal to move forward. Because fear only comes when you are about to do something that matters. It's not there to hold you back. It's there to test how badly you really want it. Most people see fear as a wall. They look at it and think, "I can't go through this." But the truth is that wall is just paper thin. It looks solid until you push. Once you push through it, you realize it was never that strong at all. Fear isn't your enemy. Fear is your teacher. It shows up every time you step outside your comfort zone, and that's exactly where growth begins. When I faced moments that scared me, I learned something powerful. Fear is only loud before you take the first step. Once you move, it gets quiet. Action kills fear faster than anything else. When you stand still, fear grows louder. When you move, it fades away. Think about it. Every great thing you've ever achieved came after a moment of fear. That first time you spoke up, that first time you tried something new, that first time you took a risk, you were scared. You did it anyway. That's what separates the people who win from the people who quit. Winners feel the same fear, but they use it as a signal to push harder, not to stop. Fear will always try to convince you that you're not ready, that you need to wait for the right time. But there is no right time. The right time is when you decide to move. You can't wait for fear to disappear. It won't. You have to walk through it. You have to look it in the eye and say, "You don't control me anymore." The moment you do that, take back your power. You stop being the victim of fear and become the master of it. I remember standing in front of challenges that seemed impossible, hearing that same inner voice saying, "Do this." But instead of listening, I asked myself, "Why not me?" And that question changed everything. Because once you start asking why not, fear starts losing its grip. You begin to see that fear doesn't define your limits. It defines where your courage begins. You don't get stronger by running away from fear. You get stronger by walking straight into it. Every time you do that, you build confidence. Every time you do that, fear gets weaker. So when fear shows up, don't hide, don't freeze. Smile at it. It means you're exactly where you need to be. On the edge of growth, standing right before your next big breakthrough. Fear is not a signal to retreat. It's the universe testing your strength, asking, "Do you really want this?" And your answer should always be, "Yes, I do." Fear doesn't live out there in the world. It lives in here, inside your mind. It's not the situation that scares you, it's the story you tell yourself about it. You see, your mind can either be your greatest weapon or your worst enemy. Depends on how you train it. Most people spend years training their bodies, but they never train their minds. And that's why fear controls them. They wake up in the morning, before the day even starts, they're already telling themselves all the reasons they can't win. They let doubt take over, and doubt becomes their habit. But just like a muscle, your mind can be trained. You can condition it to believe, to stay calm, to push through. Every single thought you entertain builds your mental strength or destroys it. When you say, "I can't," your mind starts finding proof that you can. But when you say, "I will," your mind starts building a plan to make it happen. It's that simple. Thoughts create your reality. If you feed your mind fear, it will grow stronger than you. But if you feed it faith, belief, and purpose, then fear doesn't stand a chance. That's why you must guard your thoughts like a soldier guards his post. Don't let weak thoughts in. Don't let that negative voice run the show. You control what plays inside your head. When fear speaks, answer back. When it says, "What if you fail?" say, "What if I succeed?" When it says, "You're not good enough," say, "Watch me." Because your mind listens to you, believes what you repeat. So don't speak weakness into your own future. Don't tell yourself you can't when you haven't even tried. The truth is, every single limitation begins in the mind. Give up not because they're tired, but because they tell themselves they're tired. They quit not because they've reached their limit, but because they believe they have. Change your belief, you change your limit. When you train your mind, everything changes. You stop reacting and you start creating. You stop running from fear. You start using it to sharpen your focus. Fear becomes your reminder that you're growing. You start seeing obstacles as opportunities. Every situation that used to scare you becomes a challenge that excites you. Because now your mind is working for you, not against you. That's the power of mental strength. It's not about pretending fear doesn't exist. It's about mastering your response to it. Every day you have a choice. You can feed your fear or you can feed your courage. One will drain you, the other will drive you. Train your mind to see possibility instead of pain. Teach it to fight for you, not against you. Because the moment your mind believes you can win, the battle is already half over. Fear is not something you need to run from. It's something you need to use. Most people waste so much energy trying to avoid fear that they never realize how much power it actually holds. When you feel afraid, it means something inside you is waking up. It means you're about to step into a moment that could change everything. Fear shows up when the stakes are high, when something truly matters. That's why you need to stop seeing fear as a sign of weakness and start seeing it as a source of energy. The same energy that makes your heart race, fills your stomach with tension. That's power. You can let it paralyze you, or you can let it fuel you. It's your choice. Whenever I felt fear, I didn't run away from it. I leaned into it. Because fear is just energy waiting to be directed. If you use it the right way, it becomes your greatest motivator. Feeling that makes you nervous can make you unstoppable if you channel it. When you're scared, your body is alert, your senses are sharp, your focus is laser-like. That's the perfect moment to act. Fear is your body saying, this is important. So instead of wasting that energy worrying, use it to prepare, to focus, to work harder than ever before. You see, people think bravery means being fearless. It doesn't. Bravery means standing in the middle of fear and saying, let's go. It's turning that nervous energy into fuel for action. When you use fear correctly, it becomes the fire that drives you further than comfort ever could. Comfort makes you lazy. Fear wakes you up. Fear reminds you that you're alive, you have something to fight for, that you're pushing beyond what's easy. And every time you face it, you grow stronger. Fear is a tool. Just like fire, it can burn you if you're careless, but if you control it, it gives you warmth, light, and strength. When fear comes, don't waste time trying to make it disappear. Control it, direct it. Let it make you sharper. Let it make you hungry, because that's when fear transforms from your enemy into your weapon. That's when it stops breaking you and starts building you. So the next time fear shows up, don't say, why me? Say, good. That means this matters. Because fear only visits when something meaningful is on the line. Use that energy to give your best, to stay disciplined, to give everything you've got. When you do that, fear stops being a cage and becomes the fuel that powers your victory. The truth is, fear itself isn't what destroys people. It's inaction. It's the waiting, the hesitation, the overthinking that kills dreams. You can have all the talent, all the potential, all the opportunities in the world, but if you let fear freeze you, none of it matters. The real enemy isn't the fear that whispers, you can't. The real enemy is the moment you believe it and do nothing about it. Because every second you spend standing still, fear gets stronger. It feeds on your hesitation, it grows with your doubt, and before you know it, it's running your life. Most people don't fail because they didn't have what it takes. They fail because they never even tried. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect timing, perfect feeling of confidence that never comes. They tell themselves they'll start tomorrow, next week, next year. But tomorrow turns into regret. You can't wait for fear to disappear. You have to move with it. You have to take that first step even when your legs are shaking. Because once you move, everything changes. Fear loses its grip. Action is the cure. Action is what turns fear into progress. When you start moving, you send a message to yourself that you are in control, not your fear. The moment you take that first step, no matter how small, something powerful happens. Your confidence grows, your mind clears, and suddenly the thing that once terrified you doesn't seem so big anymore. Because movement builds momentum. Momentum kills fear. Even if you stumble, even if you fall, you're still moving forward. And that's how you win, not by waiting for the fear to leave, but by refusing to let it stop you. Fear will always be there in some form. It's part of being human. But you can't let it dictate your choices. You can't let it decide how far you'll go. The people who change their lives, the ones who make history, aren't fearless. They're relentless. They move when others freeze. They act when others doubt. They know that courage isn't about feeling ready, but doing what needs to be done anyway. You have to trust yourself enough to take that step even when you can't see the whole path. Because once you start walking, the path reveals itself. So stop waiting for the fear to fade. Stop waiting to feel ready. Just move. Do something. Take that first step toward what you want. You'll be amazed at how fast fear disappears when you refuse to give it your attention. Because at the end of the day, action is power. Fear can't survive in motion. The moment you take control, loses control forever.